Hello, my name is Shulamit, and I'm the creator of the MetaSounds process. Every Sunday at noon, I host a Zoom meeting for us to explore wisdom teachings and experience the healing power of MetaSounds. These meetings are made possible by generous donors. Please help this site thrive by liking and subscribing, and please join our newsletter at greatoctave.com to receive notices of our events. The news, as we're all aware, is stunning, frightening, and a confirmation in a way of everything that we were concerned about for the past while. We are experiencing very significant changes in the country, and there's a sense of unease, which we've all been experiencing. And now, in addition to what seems to be the crumbling of everything that's familiar to us, we have the probability of a very serious war in the Middle East in which we are entangled. So I don't think anybody can completely accurately predict what the fallout is going to be from the bombing last night. But it'll be maybe different than we expect, and certainly difficult. When we're confronted with situations that are taxing and trying and terrifying and all of that, it's helpful to be united. And of course, the one thing that we are not is united. It's not just that we have a difference of opinion because, well, my God, that should be expected. A difference of opinion is important and necessary, and dialogue is important and necessary to come to informed conclusions. But we're in a situation in which anybody who differs with us is an enemy that needs to be exterminated. So we are being ruled by harsh judgment and by the lack of rationality that leads us to. And this is a problem, of course. This is a very, very difficult problem. I mean, it's not just on the world stage, it's even trying to get cooperation in your own family between differing opinions about how to solve a specific issue. What's required, of course, is a full heart, a willingness to listen, a willingness to compromise, to think of the greater good rather than your own particular point of view, winning over your point of view. And we all know that that's hard because we've experienced it in every endeavor in our lives, whether it's our interpersonal relationships or our relationships at work or our community relationships. It's just very, very difficult, very difficult. And yet the level of division that we're experiencing is not going to serve us very well. And maybe we can't control the whole world. And maybe we can't take a magic wand and make everything fine and fixed and terrific. But I think it is worth examining our own posture, our own individual posture. This we have control over. How do we react when somebody disagrees with us? How do we react when somebody refuses to listen and steps all over our comment? Do we have only our own agenda that we want to prevail, or are we willing to listen to the other side and come to some kind of informed conclusion and start from there so that we actually start changing the way we respond in the world? Because there is an awful lot of pressure on each of us to respond in an angry, volatile, and potentially violent way. And I'm just talking about this country right now. I'm talking about our relations within this country. But that leads me back to the relationship to ourselves. We each have conflicting desires and opinions, each of us inside of ourselves. We have not only our own conflicting desires and opinions, we have the desires and opinions of the people who care about us, who raised us, who are part of our community, our environment, and they have conflicting ideas about the best way to move forward on any particular subject. So those voices are all inside us, crowding our heads and upsetting our stomachs, and they're difficult. They're difficult, and sometimes the way that we deal with disagreements, or I should say desires that pull us apart, that are contradictory, is to try to get one aspect of our nature to shut up so that we can continue. I mean, this could be, there are so many examples, but this could be, for example, being in a monogamous relationship with children and stability and having desires for another partner, which can be quite overwhelming, not just a passing phase, but something that you really feel that you must do, that you have to do. And maybe there is no compromise, but maybe the only way you feel you can do it is to get one side of you to shut up. Another way, of course, is to talk to yourself about and try to reason through what the consequences are going to be of your actions. And this is about anything. I mean, you could want to be an artist, but you need to feed yourself or your family. That's in conflict. You could have a dream of doing something that really is the dream of your heart, of your desire, of what you really want to see happen for you. And then you have the practicality of being pulled in a completely other direction, away from what some people might call castles in the sky, or, not being grounded or practical or whatever. So we're at war with ourselves. And we can be very harsh to ourselves, too judging, too unkind, too unforgiving, holding up some kind of ideal which is impossible to attain because we're human. Holding it up and saying, I should be better than this. I'm going to get this other side of me to shut up. I'm going to run roughshod over these desires, whatever, however you cope. You can't suppress. Well, you can suppress, but it always comes out. It always comes out and it bites you in the rear. So having even a discussion with yourself is a very, very important path to happiness. So that you're not in inner turmoil, so that you're not in conflict, and most importantly, that you're not unkind. We can be so incredibly unkind to ourselves if we violate some ideal that we have of how we should behave and how we should think and what we should want and what we should wear and how we fit in to the general world. Coming to grips with that is very important. It actually affects all your relationships and the community at large, and begins to have an impact on our societal relations. It takes two to tango. If you don't have a partner, you can't dance. If somebody throws you a ball to play baseball or something and you don't pick up the bat and try to strike it back, you have no game. So one side of the equation is very important, to learn not to react, but to learn to respond thoughtfully and to clear up the confusion that's inside you. To come to inner peace is a lifelong endeavor, but one that really pays off. It pays off in peace, inner peace. It pays off in happiness. It pays off in joy. It pays off in better relations. And it pays off because it impacts everybody around you, increases the quality of your relationships, teaches others without lecturing about how to be, and presents a, I don't know if I could say a unified front, but it takes the confusion inside you and it leads you to a point where you can make some kind of decision about what to be or what to say or how to feel. accounting for the fact that there are different forces inside you and that they're not particularly going to go away. This is how we're constructed. We're constructed out of opposites, out of judgment and love, out of vision and the practicalities of life, out of the ability to understand things and the wisdom that sometimes says you can't fix it and you have to shut up. So all of these things are going on all the time inside you. And they're all projected on the world. You know, these leaders, they come to lead us and they project their childhood insecurities and torments on all of us. And the only thing we can do, if we're not in charge of any, I don't know, the military or a community group or whatever, if we're not in charge, or even if we are in charge, is to try to be measured. It doesn't mean we're always going to be right, but it means that you can sleep at night if you've examined the opposite sides of things, and don't treat yourself as an enemy, which a lot of people do. They're so harsh in their judgment of themselves that they become sour or bitter, and they project that on the world and on their relationships and everything else. Sometimes we have to do things we don't want to do. Sometimes we get stuck in situations that were not of our making, and we have to live with it. If we can do that with a degree of clarity and calm, we can begin to be leaders to other people. And I don't mean necessarily, telling them what to do. I mean through our person, through our love, through our acceptance, sometimes of situations that we can't change. We're in a very serious situation here. I don't have to tell you that. You know that. And we don't know how it's going to come out. But we have a better chance if we stand in integrity and decency and kindness and love and stop beating up on ourselves and on others. It's not that you don't tell the difference between what's right and wrong or good or bad in yourself or anyone else. It's just that by leavening the judgment with love, you actually can discriminate between what's right and wrong. And you can make a measured or a thoughtful response to it if it's possible. Sometimes we can't do that, but if it's possible, it's a training. It's a training. It's a discipline. It's a lifelong commitment. And over time, you see very strong rewards. So hopefully, we can get through this time, which seems to be increasing in danger and intensity, and causing many of us not to sleep well and to worry and so forth. So feeling a sense of humility and love can help a lot. I'm not saying it's going to fix things, but it's going to help. And the key thing is, when this is over, which it will be, that we still emerge as decent people who have our humanity to share and to keep the human experiment going. So with that, I'm going to sound. As you can hear, I have a somewhat scratchy voice today, which I don't know what it's from, but it doesn't matter. But I will do my best. So keeping your feet on the ground and closing your eyes to receive. Thank you for joining me today and being part of our community. I invite you to join us every Sunday at noon Eastern Time for the full live experience. Wishing you a wonderful week, and I look forward to connecting with you soon. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Visit greatoctave.com for more details about these webcasts, our newsletter, donations, and more.